Okay, so I'm on a submarine here. Pretty cool. That's the ACOM ladder, accommodation ladder. There's some guns. There's a 53 Hilo. This is called non-skid here. As my brother would say, it was a bubble head. I'm a non-qual. I was on surface ships, and he was on submarines, and we were both stationed out of Norfolk, Virginia. So this is open. This was decommissioned a long time ago, but looks like, I don't know if those are the torpedoes that were on this particular one. I don't know, but we'll find out. It looks like an awfully small torpedo. It looks like a Mark 46, and a Mark 46 was deployed by helicopters like a LAMPS 1 and a LAMPS 3 helicopter, and also out of the Mark 32 launchers that were on surface ships. So that's the what they call the sail, and those are different things, probably VLF, very low frequency, periscope, ESM antennas, things like that. And a lot of these boats have multiple periscopes on them, so pretty cool. But I also, before I went in the Navy, I was a Sea Cadet in Pittsburgh, so I went to submarine school at New London, Connecticut, for only a short sub school instead of the 6 weeks. So these hatches are going to be hard for a lot of people to get through. Unfortunately, I'm carrying a bag, which I happen to have a Navy tag. So that's it. So be pretty interesting to go here. I've been on even the Nazi submarines from World War II, and certainly being deployed over in Europe, and that I was on different vessels because he just asked to go on and say, hey, I'm an ex-squid or whatever. So to all my Navy folks, I'm going to go down here. Roddy, I'm going to start going down, but I'm filming. I'm going to go down in here. So this, you would have a hatch, and you really got to pay attention here, because this isn't, you know, a ride. This is a real hatch. So those are called dogs. Those are called dogs, and it's difficult to get through, but it's only going to get much worse from here. So we're entering the forward part, or the bow portion of this unit, and yes, these are much bigger torpedoes. So these are the correct torpedoes for here, and just like the United States ones, we were running Mark 48s when I was in. I think they're still running 48s or ad caps. Those are the torpedo tubes. You got 6 tubes up there. They have some of the torpedoes actually split apart on this, and just like much like the U.S. submarines, you'll have people sleeping above, below, or in between, and then we also put different food and things like that in the submarines in different areas. Even on some of the combat fleet ships, you know, we would load stuff up when need be. I was on a big supply ship, so I wasn't Rambo or anything like that for a lot of my time in, but not all of my time. So I've been on a guided missile frigate, a Oberon-class destroyer, an LPH Iwo Jima class. So there's a lot of stuff in here, and interesting to see 120 and 120 and 220 volts. So they both have both in here. So real interesting. And to get the torpedoes in, they would bring them in this way, I'm sure. So we'll find out the propulsion systems and things like that on here. But I can tell you on the US subs, it's really cool. I'm going through here. Oh yeah, don't get old, folks. So this stateroom is probably Probably like a petty officer thing like that. Very similar to what we had in the Navy, except these would open up and your locker would be underneath. So really, really cool. Every little space is taken and these little curtains we would call beat-off curtains because it gave you privacy. You know, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody saying that or whatever in the vernacular, but that's what it is. You know, I want to totally respect this vessel and not open up compartments and things like that. So I don't know what that might be, some eviscerator or something that grinds up things. You really want to be conscious of noise. And that's like a dummy figure in here. You want to be conscious of a noise in a sub, so everything's insulated. And again, that was my brother's job as a sonar tech to make sure that thing, the submarines are super quiet. So you don't want to be running pipes and dropping hammers and everything like that. So we're just going to keep progressing down through here. More cruise quarters. That must be like the commanding officer or something. Yeah, wardroom. So the wardroom is for officers. The CO and XO would be in some place like that. So this here, well, that's your periscope. But in here is where you would have your all your different things running over here. So this might, yeah, this is actually sonar. There's a passive and there's a active sonar. So generally you'd want to run on a passive sonar system, which is just going to listen, and you have hydrophones and a spherical dome array sonar in the front with maybe a TAS or towed array sonar system in the back, consisting of hydrophones and transducers, and you want to see how many CZs or convergence zones away they are, and thermal layers. There's a lot of stuff that is relative. This looks like kind of like a maneuvering board, basic set of NTDS or Naval Tactical Data System, where it's not computerized. That maybe you'd move stuff and put Skunk Bravo Zulu, or actually that means thank you or well done. But you have a helmsman and a lee helmsman here. So there's normally bow planes and then stern planes, and then ballast that will control the rudder that will control the ship's movement here. So this can be, I don't know if this is the stern plane, but you just look like in feet. So this is 1,000 feet is what it shows. But apparently that's pretty darn accurate here, because it's showing that we have 8 feet. So from the keel. So we're right here. And this looks like, guess what? Another periscope. One gets damaged, you have a backup here. So they may or may not be the same. I don't know. Again, I was not a submariner. I went to Sea Cadet Sub School. That's about it as far as that. So apparently that is the Comandante. So, you know, that's a captain cabin, and it's real small. And you notice it's right beside here, the bridge over here, where, you know, he's got complete access. So, wow, nice little computer. That's probably your fire control or radio room. Yeah, that's radio room. I got lucky. So you have a teletype and whatnot. You have your little bathrooms, which, you know, there's not much space in there. You got a little sprayer to spray your tush, and a little flusher on there. But when they say battle stations, you're quiet. So here's another area. It says prohibited, because they probably don't want some tourists like me going down there and scuttling the boat. There's another bathroom. You know, and in the Navy, in the surface Navy in America, they'll have things up in the top, say up in here, that you can use as a decon station or decontamination station for nuclear, biological, chemical warfare attack, or even, say, God forbid, you get brake clean all in your eyes. So this is clearly not a nuke boat, because if it was a nuke boat, they probably wouldn't let us in here. So this is a diesel boat with batteries. So that's exactly what this is for. Oh wow, it's in English. First time I saw this. Main engines, propulsion board, the auxiliary power board, and various generators. So I remember being stuck at sea on the USS San Diego, and the generator wouldn't start, and oh yeah, that was fun. You can't call AAA when you're in the military, you know. So everybody has to be a first aid person, everybody has to be a firefighter, damage controlman, and you know, work together. And made a lot of good training that I got in the Navy. I will say that. I didn't particularly care for it when I was in most of the time. But, you know, as I reminisce, sure, it's always seems great, you know, but long hours or 84-hour work weeks and things like that, you know, is not great. Or if you're in harm's way, that makes it even less desirable. So that's it. So I'm going through here, and to give you an idea, I'm carrying this bag over here because I stayed at a hotel locally. But you see how hard this is to get through, and I'm halfway nimble for my old age over here. So this is kind of neat. So if you ever see these stories of guys getting stuck on subs and things like these are this is a CO2 system to get rid of CO2s. Again, more bunks, guys got to sleep. A lot of people don't know that they don't have a bunk for every person. So if you're here, you don't have your own bed. When you get out of your bed, somebody else goes in your bed. There's not enough beds for each person. It's called hot bunking. So aft torpedo tubes. So a lot of submarines don't have aft torpedo tubes. So it's rather an anomaly that this particular one has 2 aft torpedo tubes. So that's really cool. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to open the torpedo doors. It's going to flood the torpedo tubes, which makes noise. So you really want to be conscious of that. Sound travels much further in water than it does in air. So you could hear something miles away. So you really have to be careful, and that's why submarines are so lethal. Is they're not hard to kill, they're hard to detect, and then hard to keep track of where they're at. So if somebody's following you and you can't get them off your tail, you may want to fire an aft torpedo out of an aft tube, or if your front's damaged up for some reason, it might give you a chance to get away. That's a real thing, is fight another day in subs. So with that, I'm going to walk up here. So I'm going to switch the front camera on again. Okay, and this is one hatch. Here, right? So really cool boat. Really cool boat. So what I want to do on here is I want to get close to the sail. So this way I can kind of show what's going on. If you see that looks like an after exhaust on it, that's probably for a secondary generator. Line handling detail, another thing in the Navy, everybody's on line handling detail. Unless you're a really high rank, and even then you're a safety officer. So these are all the things on the sail here on the sub. So, you know, but you're not coming up and using, you know, radar and things like that. You're just not doing it. When you're first going underwater, you'll use it. You know, I've seen the subs submerge. So you got 7 different things there. So you'll have an ESM. You have two different scopes. One, it looks like it's got a snorkel on it. So you have your radar, your ESM, probably radio, maybe nav radar on that, and then you'll probably have a maybe that one's a satellite uplink on it, because you really want to have comms besides VLF. VLF, people think the higher the frequency the better, although that's will generally give you really nice bandwidth. You don't need a lot of bandwidth for comms. What you need is distance. So that's where very low frequency communication comes in. So no sub expert, just a squid. That's it. So this is outside of Rio de Janeiro, and real happy to be here. Bye bye, and salute to all the Navy people throughout the world, and especially the sub folks. Bye.